Me, it's nice talking myself. It's dementia. Something you couldn't know. It's black.
Arm wrestling, or wrist wrestling as it was formerly known, dates back to ancient time. In those days, military commanders would choose the best arm wrestlers to be their leading soldiers. Since then, arm wrestling has been practiced throughout the world, in every country. In 1954, the first organized professional arm wrestling tournament took place in Petaluma, California. Soon after, the World Arm Wrestling Championships was aired on ABC's Wide World of Sports and was its highest-rated segment from 1969 to 1985. In Europe and other parts of the world, the popularity of Sylvester Stallone's film Over the Top allowed the sport to grow extensively. Russia, India, Japan, and much of Eastern Europe provided government-sponsored subsidies and allowed arm wrestling to become a high school elective. Today, there are over 125 countries that compete in arm wrestling events around the globe, and it will be an exhibition sport in the next Olympic Games. Why pulling? Pulling comes from the act of pulling the opposing arm wrestler toward you. There are three basic techniques. The top roll. With your knuckles facing your opponent, bring your thumb down towards the table. The hook. Curl your wrist inward and try to place your hand into your shirt pocket. The shoulder roll. Lift and place your shoulder behind your forearm while driving your arm towards the table. It's like a hammer coming down. A jump start or lifting your elbow up off the pad will get you a foul. 2 fouls and you lose. Slip out and you'll be forced to strap up. All participants are divided into 3 different weight categories: middleweight, heavyweight, and super heavyweight. The winner of each weight category compete against each other to be the overall class champion.
Thanks, Ralph. You know, there are 3 basic techniques of professional arm wrestling. The first being the top roll. This is when you roll over your opponent's hand in order to pin him to the pad, which Steve will demonstrate. That is the top roll. The second is the shoulder roll, in which you involve your body and roll into your opponent's wrist in order to pin him to the pad. Go ahead, Steve. That's the shoulder roll. The third is the basic hook. What you do is you hook your hand and pull towards your left shoulder in order to pin your opponent. See the hook, Steve. Those are the 3 basic techniques of professional arm wrestling. There are variations, but that's basically it. Back to you, Ralph.
You know, one thing I've noticed is that regardless of the technique, this has to be one of the fiercest sports known to man. In virtually every preliminary match, the strain of the arm muscles is painted in vivid detail on the competitors' faces, and the intensity of the competition is certainly reflected in their eyes. Now, whether the match is a 3-minute marathon or a 1-second wonder, this is not a sport for the meek.
Then do the Harlem Shake.